Well, hi, everybody. I'm Captain Steve.
And I'm Peter.
All right. And we're going to review Top Gun Maverick today. I'm pretty excited about this.
I'm so excited. Let's do this.
My dad believed in you. I'm not going to make the same mistake.
You know what happens to you if you go through with this. I have everything I need to have you court-martialed and dishonorably discharged.
The end is inevitable, Maverick.
What are you gonna do?
Here they come! Look in the air! Look in the air!
Dude, this movie is awesome.
It is.
Like, I'm just going to spoil the plot. I'm going to spoil our review on this already. I love this movie so much.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's better than the first one, and I love the first one as well.
Now, I'm really excited to get to talk to this about you because you were in the Navy. How long did you serve in the Navy?
So I did 29 years. I did 21 in the reserves, 8 years of active duty. I'm a naval aviator. Okay, for you guys out there, not a pilot. Naval aviator. Naval pilots are called aviators. Mm-hmm. There's a difference.
You were a lieutenant in the Navy when the first Top Gun came out.
So when the first Top Gun movie came out, I think it was 86, 87 time frame. I had just made lieutenant. So I was tall, dark-haired, thin, good-looking, just like Tom Cruise.
I mean, you had the aviators and everything.
I did. You had to. You had the gold-rimmed, Ray-Ban aviators, the whole thing. I got the flight suit. I got the leather jacket. I got all of it.
How were you at volleyball?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I wasn't as good at it. Dad bods are kind of a thing that some guys, they have earlier in life than others.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Let's jump in. I'm really excited. Let's take a look at our first scene.
One last ride.
The music swells.
Here comes the angry admiral. The end of the runway.
That's the most realistic part. All admirals are angry.
Yes.
Star, you are cleared above 600. Increase to Mach 3.5.
Cleared above 600. Increase to Mach 3.5.
Just a little.
I don't know that anybody does eyebrows better than.
Oh, don't do it.
Don't do it.
A little push.
Dink.
You got some balls, stick jockey. I'll give you that.
Maverick. Maverick.
Earth to Maverick. Earth to Maverick, over. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So first off, what an opening!
What an opening.
Like,
I know.
I love this scene so much.
Yes.
And I really don't want to say anything negative about it.
No. I love it. It's so the airplane equivalent now. Basically what they're proposing here is that there's an update to the old SR-71. Mm-hmm. The SR-71 was developed in the 1960s, and here's a little trivia about the SR-71. It was meant to be a supersonic, basically edge of outer space type of airplane. The guys wore, just like Tom Cruise, an astronaut suit in it. It's classified how high it went, but 100,000 feet or more, right? And it's going to go Mach 3, 3.5, 4, and that's all classified, but really, really fast, right? 3 or 4 times the speed of sound. The airplane was originally called the RS-71. And Lyndon Johnson, when he was president, got out and announced at a press meeting the name of the airplane, and he's reading it off the thing, and he flips it and says the SR-71, supposed to be the RS-71. So the rest of the Air Force goes, well, I guess it's now the SR-71, which actually sounds better than the RS-71. So those airplanes flew forever. They had a great mission. They leaked oil and fuel on the ground like crazy because when they got up to altitude and the heat would cause everything to expand and all the joints would tighten. But on the ground, when it wasn't hot, it had to be a loosely fit together airplane. So it leaked gas like crazy. They're constantly just picking up puddles of gas off the ground with that airplane. So here's the updated version, right? Pretty realistic in terms of the leading edges of the wings are going to actually glow because they're getting super, super hot with that kind of speed. And then he gets into a high-speed tuck at the end, right? Now, he probably would have gotten into it a lot before Mach 10, but it's, Mach 10 is the whole goal here, right? So he gets to Mach 10, and then he pulls a Maverick. It's not good enough. He's got to push it over a little bit to see if he can get a little bit more out of it.
Well, obviously that's very in keeping with the character, but I've spent a lifetime hanging out with pilots, and I just wrapped up a feature documentary working with pilots in the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
And I will tell you that I think the party line is they always would follow an order, but if they were given the opportunity, I feel like every pilot I have ever known would want to push it just one little bit further.
So here's the difference between a naval aviator and an Air Force pilot. An Air Force pilot would have never done that. He would have gotten permission first. He would have gotten all the paperwork signed. He would have gone to the major who went to the colonel who went to the general who went to the command post, and they got all the protections in place, right? The Navy guy, he's going to ask for forgiveness later instead of permission up front. And that's exactly what Maverick's character is. Perfect Navy pilot. If you've got a child that goes and just touches something or flips it or goes, hey, what does this do? And they don't know, that person's probably going to make a great fighter pilot someday, because that's what fighter pilots do. They're just like, hey, let's see what this does. Oh, that's a bad idea.
Yeah. It's experimentation.
Hey, everybody, don't do that.
Yeah. Well, it's just the burning desire to know what if.
What if, right? Yeah, so that's the spirit of Maverick, right? And he fits well in the Navy.
All right, so what's going to happen next, and I'll have it playing while we're talking here, is Maverick's about to walk out of the desert,
yes,
and survive this.
Right.
Is there any walking away from a Mach 10, 100,000 foot in the air ejection?
Two words come to mind. Heck no. Okay, no. He's shredded wheat at this point, but he is Tom Cruise. So the scene of him walking out of the desert is an homage to Chuck Yeager.
Who's Chuck Yeager?
Chuck Yeager was the first guy to break the speed of sound. And he did it in this Bell airplane that was attached to another airplane. It was like a rocket that they launched, and they'd never broken the sound barrier before. Chuck Yeager was the first guy to do it. Now, in the process of breaking it again and again, right, they're getting better and faster. And Chuck Yeager gets into an accident one day out in the desert, where the airplane kind of comes apart on him just like this. I think he lost an engine. It goes into a flat spin. He's having a hard time getting out of it. He finally, at a few thousand feet above the ground, ejects out of the airplane, but everybody thinks he's dead because the airplane has just totally come apart and they haven't seen him. Well, it ends up that he's in the desert and he's okay. He comes walking out of the desert. I think in the next scene, Tom Cruise comes walking out of the desert and walks into a diner. I don't think Chuck Yeager did that, but that was an absolute homage to Chuck Yeager.
The F-18 NATOPS contains everything they want you to know about
Naval
your
Air Training Operating Procedures Standardization.
I'm assuming you know the book.
I'm proud of you.
Inside and out.
Damn right.
Yeah.
Damn straight.
You got it.
It's like the Bible.
So does your
Tom
army.
Cruise just threw it in a circular
And we're
file.
wrong. But what the enemy doesn't know is your limits. I intend to find them, test them, push beyond. Today we'll start with what you only think you know.
Okay, so first of all the expressions on their faces are just absolutely wonderful, right? It's like, yeah, boomer, go home. Okay. I mean, they're just looking at him like, hey, Gramps, enough of this. But what's going on is he's doing his Maverick thing, right? He's going to get them ready for a mission that's going to stretch them personally and everything else. It's hyperbole to take a NATOPS manual and throw it in the garbage. It's ingrained in you that, it's your Bible. It's all of the parameters of your aircraft, and you have to know it inside and out. I had to basically memorize that entire thing, right? And every airplane that the Navy has a NATOPS manual. So he's not going to depart from that because a good pilot doesn't do that. But he's talking on the personal level with all of them. And it's nice. I like what they're doing. Now, they're doing this classified briefing in the middle of the hangar with the world's largest American flag in the background.
Isn't that where you store those?
No, typically that's not there. If you have a change of command or some sort of ceremony, they bring them out, and they do them in the hangar, but that's going to be put away. And you're not going to have a super highly classified top secret briefing in the middle of the hangar.
Where do those things take place?
In a briefing room someplace behind a closed door, and all your cell phones are put aside. It's a secure facility behind a lot of layers, right, to get to that place. And then you're going to get handed classified stuff you're going to look at it for a little bit, and then you're going to hand it right back because it gets put in a vault.
All right, so I want to look at this scene because you were a naval aviator.
Right.
How many times did you find yourself on a ship?
0.0. I flew an airplane called a P3, and it was too big to go on a ship.
I don't sail boats, Penny. I land on them.
It's sort of like
Can you relate with that statement?
Absolutely.
So how do I do that?
Is it realistic that a naval aviator would have no idea?
Right. He would be out of his element at this moment. And I'm surprised he's not like over the side barfing. But this is how cool she is. Right? This is her, fighter.
Who the hell is that?
Maverick to range control. Entering Point Alpha. Confirm green range.
Maverick, range control. Green range is confirmed. I don't see an event scheduled for you, sir.
Well, I'm going anyway.
Nice.
Setting time to target, 2 minutes, 15 seconds.
2:15, that's impossible.
File attack point. Maverick's inbound.
Okay, stop it right there for a second. Okay, so Tom Cruise obviously has done this a bunch of times, and he's been trained in this. And what he's doing right now is called a hook maneuver. So they trained you to this. He's got a G suit on, and as you're pulling G's, centrifugal force is taking the blood in your body and it's pushing it out to the extremities, your feet and your head. So you're going to get overwhelmed and you're going to pass out. You need your blood in the middle part, right? So the G suit then begins to press back on your extremities to push it back in the middle of your body. But one of the things they train fighter pilots to do is the hook maneuver. So as you're pulling G's, you're saying the word hook, right? Hook, like that. And you're pushing down to get the blood to come back in. So you're taking all of your extremities and helping that G suit.
Popping 3, 2, 1.
Back, push down, roll over again. It's like a split S maneuver with a mountain in the way. It's very exciting.
Bombs away.
So that's a maneuver you would have trained
He's
for.
He's doing that hook thing, like that, trying to get the blood to come back in the middle of his body. 9 G's, you're done. He's out. Making a difference, and that's realistic. He's going to pass out at 9 G's.
Holy shit!
10 G's probably exceeds the airplane's limit, but hey, it's a movie.
Yeah.
Damn.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he's cutting a lot of really hard maneuvers there. And I think one of the cool things about this movie is so much of, especially the stuff in the cockpit, was filmed for real. Like they weren't in a simulator. This was
Correct.
actually doing it.
Yeah.
So we know that this is physically possible.
Correct.
But what is that doing to your body?
So the back and forth through the canyon is not a lot of G's. It's like 1 or 2 G's. You know, you're just doing bank turns like this. The pulling up stuff, and you can see now some of those scenes. Tom Cruise probably wasn't in the airplane when they're filming this from outside. But I do believe that they had him in front of the camera for a lot of those pulling G scenes, and they're going to do that not in a dangerous place where they're 20 feet above a canyon. But he's still pulling the same G's. So it tells you a lot about how good a shape he is in, because for a 60-year-old man to be pulling G's like that, it's really fatiguing and really difficult to do. I mean, he's in phenomenal shape. He's probably fit like a 35-year-old guy is. So that sort of thing is a young man's game or a young woman's game. You got to be just physically fit and you know, in your 20s or early 30s to be doing that stuff. So that to me is absolutely amazing. And it's very realistic. You know, the party line from the Navy is that Tom Cruise did not fly the airplane. Okay. I'm thinking he probably did, but I don't know.
Comanche, Dagger 1, standby check-in.
What's that?
It's an AWACS airplane. It's a
Copy. Dagger's descending below radar.
airborne command center.
Radar?
They'll coordinate communications, radar. They've got the big picture. They're looking out for everybody. So if bad guys are coming out, they're going to let you know.
Popping in 3, 2, 1. Get the eyes on that target, Bob. Target 3! Stand by, Mav! Come on, Bob, come on. Stand by! I've got it! Captured! Target acquired, bombs away.
The hook maneuver. And good night.
We got impact! Check direct hit!
That's miracle number 1.
Would you be able to get words out of your mouth with those many G's?
Almost there, man. Almost there.
No.
Fanboy, where's my laser?
Rooster, there's something wrong with this laser! Shit! Deadeye! Come on, guys, we're running out of time. Nearly there!
Come on, bad boy, get it online.
There's no time. I'm dropping blinds. Rooster, I got this! I got
time.
this!
Pull
Bombs
out.
away! Bombs away! Bombs away!
That's awesome.
It's a very exciting scene. It's filmed wonderfully. My question, I think, anybody that's half cynical says, why didn't they just shoot missiles like from someplace else and blow that thing up, or send a B-52 over and just bomb the crap out of it? But besides that, okay, let's follow the premise of they've got to go over the thing and do the turnaround and go down and hit it just right. They did all that. The realistic parts are the pulling of the G's. A G force is you basically double your body weight with every G. So if you're at 9 G's, you're 9 times your body weight. So imagine if you weigh 200 pounds, now you weigh 1,800 pounds. Not realistically, but you couldn't move. Like you couldn't even move your head. Like you'd be back
Right.
like this.
So if you're a 180 pound man at 10 G's, you're an 1,800 pound man.
Right.
And
so everything gets just.
So imagine best punching 1,800 pounds.
Right.
That's what you're trying to do.
Yeah, and so you've pulled back on the stick, and that's about it. But everything is pushing against you, and at some point you pass out.
How are we gonna get this museum piece in the air?
Why are the wings coming out, Matt?
It takes a museum piece to know a museum piece.
Mav, this is a taxiway, not a runway. This is a very short taxiway, Mav.
Who's just hanging on?
Holy shit!
So how is this different than taking off of
It's no
aircraft
different.
carrier?
Taxiway is, as long as you got a long straight ahead of you, you're okay.
Come on, come on. Mav! Here we go. Holy shit.
Here it comes. Look out. Doink. Stating the obvious.
Good use of comms.
And the movie maker's putting the sad music on, which means we could be about to lose Maverick and Rooster.
We can't outrun this gun. We gotta eject. We need altitude. Blow the ejection handles the second I tell you. Rooster, they're stowing away. Eject, eject, eject. Rooster, pull the handle, eject. It's not working.
It doesn't work.
Of
The
all
only
the
thing on
things-
the airplane that doesn't work. Uh-oh, this is it. Very sad music. We're floating lifelessly. Our life is flashing before our eyes. Just when we think all hope is lost. Here comes the cavalry.
It's a good thing he didn't hear missile tone.
Yes.
Good afternoon, ladies and
Come in.
gentlemen. This is your sailor speaking. Please fasten your seatbelt.
I'm going to do that sometime on the PA. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is your savior speaking.
I mean, Glenn Powell.
Yeah.
Perfect delivery.
It's awesome.
Perfect delivery.
All he was missing was, it's Captain Steve. Fly safe. There you go.
All right. So, I mean, well, let's start with Maverick just walked into a foreign base and stole an F-14 Tomcat. How can you do that?
Let's go with that. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Sure.
So
why not?
How would a foreign adversary have come across an F-14? Like, is that a
So so we sold F-14s when we were partners with Iran way back in the day. So when the Shah of Iran was there, they bought F-14s. So they had that airplane for years, and they still have some. And there are still some F-14s that fly. Now, it's hard to get spare parts for them and all that, but there are some that still are operational. So let's assume that this is Iran and that's operational F-14, and it's, except for the radar that's missing in the back seat, it's a fully functioning airplane.
So is that a thing? If we sold an aircraft to a foreign country, it's functionally the exact same airplane as the one that he would have been flying.
Probably with
20
just a
years
few
ago.
minor, like we're going to keep some of the good stuff for us, but yeah, it's a functioning flying airplane.
Yeah, so he should be able to get into it, get it off the ground, and fly it.
Correct, and he's going to have to go back in his memory banks and remember how to fly an F-14, but he's Maverick. So.
Well, I'm curious. Do you think you could walk into a P-3 Orion right now and get it off the ground?
I could probably figure it out. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And how long has it been since he flew that plane?
20 plus years.
Yeah.
I mean, I could probably figure out how to start the engines, and then once you go from there, it's you push the power up and away you go. So
Yeah. Okay. So
it's like riding a bike. It all comes back.
it all comes back. All right. Well, they're saved. They get back to the ship. They get the hugs and the celebrations
Right.
and
Yeah.
all the wonderfulness. Let's give this movie a score. So on realism, on a scale of 1 to 5, how many wings is this?
So this is probably a 4.5, almost 5 out of 5. It's the flying scenes are phenomenal in this movie. They're all very realistic. I'm sure there was some CGI, but it's hard to say what was and what wasn't.
I think it's the best compliment you can pay to CGI artists as well. It's like, I can't tell what was and what wasn't.
I couldn't tell what was and what wasn't. And, you know, obviously Tom Cruise is in a real airplane, and there are, you know, those scenes where they're pulling G's, they're pulling G's. And now through the magic of music, of movie making and splicing it all together, it looks much more dramatic than it probably was when they were filming it, but it's still the real thing. Yeah.
Okay, so you're giving 4.5, maybe 5.
Maybe 5.
Maybe 5. Okay.
5.
And entertaining. How entertaining is this?
Oh, awesome. This is a movie you want to watch over and over again.
Yeah. In preparation for today's episode, I sat and I got to rewatch this, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is such a good movie.
Unlike Air Force One, where you go, okay, I've watched that once, I can't watch that again. This is a movie where you go, hey, let's watch that again. And let's just rewind to the flying scenes. Let's be, you know.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
No, it's excellent.
Right.
How many times did Tom Cruise get court-martialed?
At least 3 times, and I'm thinking as many as 5.
All right, so walk me through those. So,
he takes the Mach 10 airplane and destroys it, and yeah, so that's court-martial.
You're saying if he walks out of that alive, he has a courtroom waiting for him.
He does. That's court-martial number 1.
Okay.
All right. Number 2 is he flies the mission by himself in the F-18. They go, I don't see you on the agenda today. So he had to either bribe or talk a lot of people, and he stole a military airplane to go do that. Right.
Is there any coming back from that?
No. There's no coming back from that.
Doesn't matter who you are.
No, that's the end of your career. But it's Maverick. So, yeah, that's number 2. You know, beyond that, I mean, everything else was kind of sanctioned after that, I guess, because he was out of favor for a little bit, and then he proved himself, and then all of a sudden he's back in favor again. So the admirals are like, all right, we got to do it. I guess we got to do Maverick.
Okay, so 2 times he's getting court-martialed.
At least twice.
At least twice. But overall, I mean, just such an excellent film.
Just an awesome film.
Excellent film. If you haven't seen Top Gun Maverick, definitely
the good guys
go out, watch it. It's on Paramount Plus, and well worth the 2 hours.
Yep, absolutely.
I think we might leave this. I might go back and watch it again tonight.
Yep, I'm up for it.
Yeah. All right. Well, Captain Steve, you want to give us our sign off?
Okay. I'm Captain Steve. Fly safe.